1 minute.
And we got elephants upstairs. Lord, it's ping pong. Say what? Good afternoon. This is Noah Gutierrez with Diversified Product Development. And today we are doing a live webinar over the new LineWise spacer cart / line cart. And today we're doing something a little bit different. We have invited Mr. Dave Packerbush to join us. And he will be here talking with me, and we'll be bouncing some different things off of each other as we talk about this product today. And so, like I said, it's a new product that we're bringing to the LineWise family. It's something that we've wanted to do for some time, just haven't had the right opportunity, so to speak. And so, Dave, I would say, golly, it's been several years at this point that we've looked at this, if not longer.
Yeah, since before I came into sales.
Yeah.
It's been over 5 years now. So.
And so that's something, like I said, has been on the books for a little while that we wanted to do that, but finally the right opportunity has presented itself. And so we're going to carry it forward. And so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and go to the LineWise website. As always, like I said, we like to show you how to get there first of all. So you know where to find it on the website. And so as I turn here to my right here, I'm going to take the mouse. Is yours working? I'm going to take the mouse here, and as you see, we go to line-wise.com. And then from there, you can go over to utility, and you'll go to utility transmission. And from right now, the current space for it is the upper left-hand corner, and we're calling it spacer cart. You just click on that right there. And then from there, we have the information that we currently have on the line cart and spacer cart that we're offering. So that you understand the difference as to the way that we're presenting the two. The line cart, the way that we're currently, the reason for currently naming it that way is because it's going to be used on a static line. And that is what we're going to use it for to start off with. And we're going to also go over those details at this time. I can minimize this here on my screen so I can see what I'm doing. There we go. So right now, what you're seeing on the screen is actually a 3D model rendering of the line cart. We are at the point where we have designed and engineered this cart, and we have also ordered the parts for it. And if you will be attending Utility Expo, formerly known as IQ, we will have 2 of these is the plan at Utility Expo. I believe we're going to have one on the inside booth that we have and one on the outside booth. And so if you're going to Utility Expo, again, formerly known as IQ, look us up and see what our booth number is, and please come and pay us a visit to check out this line cart that we're going to have there. So some specifications about this line cart is it's while it may not be listed here, We're going to take a look at the brochure here in a minute, but I'm not sure that we listed what material is there, but it's composed of mostly aluminum and some steel components to help keep it real light. As you can see here, it is 24 inches by 30 inches long and 50 inches tall. It's for use on single static lines. Now, for us, we didn't know that they even use these things on static lines up until just a couple of months ago. But we always learn something new in this industry. And so when we found the need, we went right to work. Something that I want to point out about some of the line carts out there and what's unique about the line carts that we're offering versus what some other people may be offering. The line cart that this particular customer that these first ones will be going to did not use engineered designs to build these spacer carts. It was just something that they put together, and then and they go up hundreds or almost 100 feet in the air and ride on these carts. That's not very safe. You want to make sure that what you're using is safe, and at the end of the day, you get home safely. There's been some accidents in the past, and this is why we want to make sure we use an engineered product. So again, for use on single static lines, this particular, once again, we got another one that we're going to show you that's used on the conductors. So if you're saying I'll never use them on static lines, don't lose interest just yet. This is operator propel. So operator propel means that you are going to move yourself along in the cart. So if you're standing in the cart, you're grabbing a hold of the conductor and you're pushing or pulling along the way down the line. So there's no gas, no gas engine, no battery powered engine on this particular model. Again, we had to keep it very light because it's used on the static line. The capacity is 300 pounds. So you can put 300 pounds inside this cart. And the total weight of the cart is 80 pounds.
So no, I got a quick question about that. Sorry to interrupt.
What you can see is the other spacer cart that we're putting out. It is in the middle of design and engineering now. We have not ordered parts on this particular design yet. This is coming to us from a large utility down in the south. And we're designing and engineering it per their specifications at this point. We believe when it's all said and done that there's going to be a family of spacers / line carts. There's going to be different configurations. Maybe some are battery powered, maybe some are gas powered. We don't really know all the future of it at this point, but we know that we want to get our customers everything that they need. And so we are going to work with our customers to accomplish that. So with this spacer cart, features and specifications, you can see here that this particular one is 40 inches wide by 85 inches long and 78 inches tall. It can be used for triple and double bundles. It can also be used on a quad bundle as well. Battery or gas, hydraulic powered, 6 wheels, 2 and 4-wheel drive, adjustable wheel ride height, swing out wheels to go around insulators. And we're going to show you a video on that here in just a moment. Integrated folding hooks to hold spacers, and it travels at a whopping 3 miles per hour cruise speed. Dave, so far, you seen anything that I need to mention here?
No, it looks like you're pretty much covered what I know.
Rick has a question.
Yes, Rick?
His question was, does the 300 pounds capacity in addition to the weight of the cart?
Yes, the answer is yes. Okay. And so those of you that don't know, in the background, I have Mr. Marvin Franklin. He's one of our professional engineers on staff, and he's joined us today, and he's going to help me with any questions that I don't know. He didn't know that, but he knows now. So now, with that being said, in the industry, not everybody may not know what a spacer cart is. And we've talked to some people in the industry, and we say, we have spacer carts, and they're like, what spacer carts? And so not everybody knows. It's something that is kind of unique. And so to kind of help you get an idea of what a spacer cart is, if you do not know what it is, we got this video that we're going to share today. And this shows a spacer cart that is up on the power lines. And what they're in the process of doing is going around the insulators. What I mentioned a little while ago, and part of the specification, is that it can go around insulators. And that's exactly the feature that we're showing here. Now, I want to make it clear that this is not our spacer cart that we're showing in this video. We have permission to use this video, and that is why we're sharing it. But we wanted to use this as an idea to give you an idea of what a spacer cart does and how it goes around the insulators. Now, I'm going to ask Dave to give an explanation here in a little bit as to what they use the spacer cart for. And Dave, this might be a good time to go and do it as we're watching this video.
The two things that I know of would be one of your dampeners on your line, and also for your recognition devices. So they hang the big balls out for aircraft.
Yeah.
And you would need to go out and some of those actually are lighted now, so they'll have to go out every once in a while and change them out if the lights have quit working, or if they're getting old and deteriorating.
So the aircraft balls have lights inside
the
of them.
newer ones, yes, there's a design out there that actually turns on at night, so that it makes it easier to be seen at
Interesting.
night. Yeah.
And they would use this to go in there and even change some of those out.
Right, and they can also put armor rod or to repair a line. If they're coming out there and they've got one that's been damaged by bullets or something like that, and they've got broken strands, they can go out and put the armor rod or like the clamp star or something like that on it to actually out in the middle.
Very good. Again, here you see the spacer cart going around the insulators. We're just going to let this play through here a little bit. And for those of you that are on the call and know me very well, you'll know that I do not like to fly in airplanes. And while I trust LineWise products, you will never catch me in a spacer cart. But if I was going to get in one, I'd get in one that was designed by LineWise for sure. We got some chats here. I'm going to see what it's saying. I'm going to move this out of the way in case it's in your way. We've already answered Rick Kennerly's questions. The video shows the lines de-energized and grounded. Is it acceptable to operate the cart on energized lines? The answer is yes.
We can't hear them, they can hear us.
Okay, and I've just been informed that there is some technical difficulty to where we cannot hear you as we normally do. So please look for the chat option here in Zoom and put in your questions there as Rick Kennerly has done. And we'll be glad to answer any questions that you have. And I apologize for this problem. Here at the end, you can see they're going down the line. Okay, I'm going to stop that here. Always have fun trying to figure out how to get out of this thing. Right there. Okay, and so next thing I wanted to take a look at was the brochure that we have uploaded on the website. It's got the two carts that we've talked about. One of the things that we wanted to point out today was that while we have the cart that we're using for the static lines, the lightweight version, if you want to call it that, and then we're going to have this little bit of a more heavier duty version that's going to be used on the conductors themselves. And like I said, we're going to have a family of these spacer carts. We never want to get away from everyone knowing that we can do customized applications for you. Now, as always, with customized applications, you got to understand that it does take more money and it does take more time. But if it's something that you're able to, that you have that budget money for and you have the time for it, we can build you exactly what you're looking for. But we wanted to at least mention that here, that you have that choice or that opportunity to get your own customized one. But if you wait just long enough, you might find over the next 12 months, there could be a few different versions that we're working with. Here on the brochure, I think we have another question. Let me answer that. This is for Rick Kennerly. It says, for energized applications, continuity must be maintained to the conductor or conductors at all times. Are you relying strictly on the hardware for this, or is there another connection I am not seeing? There is another connection, is what Marvin has shared with me just now. Again, the single conductor here, or when we say one, that's going to be for your regular single conductor or static line, and then you got 2, 3, or 4 bundles. This is listed on the brochure. The information that we just covered on the website is listed right here on the back of the brochure as well. We encourage you to go and find this brochure and share it with your customers. If you're a manufacturer's rep, if you are a customer, we encourage you to share this with your colleagues that may have an interest, or maybe you might not be the person that would handle spacer carts. So then we're asking that you share this information with them as well. Some different options. I think we also mentioned a little bit earlier is you got 4 and 6 wheels, 1 or 2 man carts, and customized tool storage. There was something else I was looking for. Yeah, so right here, we did mention it. I want to make sure that we did mention it, that we're looking at battery or gas powered. Other than that, Dave, what am I missing on spacer carts?
You covered pretty much everything I know about them.
Okay, so again, LineWise, the way it was born was developing products for the electric utility industry and other customers. Along the way, we've been able to take those products and turn them into the LineWise product family. What we want to relay here is that we would not have a LineWise product family if it wasn't for the issues and problems that the electric utility industry and the electric utility contractors, people that are consistently working on the lines, are bringing to us. And so we want to continue to encourage you to bring us these applications, these problems, so that this way we can find solutions for you. Dave, Marvin was.
When will they be available?
They will be available by Utility Expo shortly thereafter. It will make its first debut at Utility Expo, again, formerly known as IQ. There'll be 2 carts there, and then we got some for stock right now for the line cart. As for this is the one that's for the static line or the lightweight version. No engine, right? So you will manually pull yourself up and down the line in that cart. That's the one that will be available then. As for the other one, the one that will go on the conductors, goes around the insulators, gas or battery powered. I try to make my own combination of words between battery powered and gas and call it BAS. If you're looking for that version, I would say we're going to be ready within the next 4 to 6 months. So that's where we're at with that one right now. Of course, with an immediate order and somebody needing it faster, we can always look at what we can do there, but I won't know that until someone has that need. We have another question in the chat here. It says, in my area, I found that most utilities rely on contractors to perform this work rather than internal workforce. Has your market research indicated anything different? We have found that it's being used in both electric utilities and amongst the contractors. I would say over the past year in 2020 and through the first part of this year, we've noticed most work being done by contractors. Now, that's not related just to spacer carts. That's to the market in general. Now, I don't know what's caused that. I don't know if it was because, I don't know if it was COVID related. I really don't have the answer to that, but I can tell you that most of the LineWise sales, and I'm willing to say at this point about 90% of LineWise sales in 2020 came from electric utility contractors. Now, pertaining to this particular application, I know electric utilities that are using them right now. And I don't know of any contractors at this point that are using them. So it's kind of opposite from what you were saying, but I'm pretty sure there are contractors that are using them. In fact, I just remembered a contractor that has them. So it's kind of 50-50 is going to be my take on it. Any other questions or comments? By the way, that was pretty much all I had to say about LineWise spacer carts, line carts. So any questions or comments at this time? Like it says, Marvin Franklin has joined us. If he has anything he wants to add, I'll open up the floor to him to say anything. Dave, anybody else out there?
Any other questions or comments?
I believe that is about the fastest presentation we've ever done. So, waiting for any other questions. I'll give you a couple of more minutes while I give some closing remarks here. Again, we're going to be at Utility Expo. I think that starts the last week of September. And we want to invite you that are on this call today to come and visit our booths, both inside and outside. This is going to be the largest show that we have ever, not the largest show, the largest amount of products, or the most products we've ever taken to any show. And right now it is 4 truckloads of equipment. And so we're investing a lot of money here to make sure that we get all the products out in front of our customers. And so wanted to make sure that you come and visit us. And the other thing I wanted to say is the next webinar we do this the week right before Utility Expo. What we're going to cover is Utility Expo, everything that we're taking, and how to best prepare for that if you're a manufacturer's rep and selling the products or customers, so that you know what to look for when you come to our booth. Some of the other questions that are coming in, or question is from Jeff Drawhorn. It says, will there be an option for a vertical 2 bundle configuration? And the answer is yes.
See the hotline base plate.
And somebody wants to see the hotline base plate product real quick. And Heather's going to bring that up. So as she gets ready to bring that up, oh, it's already up. She's fast.
What part do you want to see?
Go ahead and you're welcome, Jeff, by the way. Right before we go into the hotline base plate, I want to clear this up right quick so that those that are watching, specifically for the spacer cart and the line cart, before we go into the hotline base plate stuff, if there's no other questions, the last thing that I want to say is, per Jeff's question for a vertical bundle, essentially, if we can make it work for a single, we're going to be able to make it work for a bundle. Now, if you're wanting it to run with a wheel on the bottom conductor and a wheel on the top, considering the spacing between the 2 conductors is hopefully 12 inches or greater, I could see where we can make that work. But in a worst case scenario, I would say you might be riding on one of the conductors. And so maybe, and for safety reasons, maybe the roller runs on the top and there's a safety bar that runs between the 2 conductors. It's just thinking out loud and shooting from the hip here. That's what I'm thinking. But we got engineers and designers on staff that have worked on custom products for a majority of the time here at Diversified for the LineWise brand. And I'm quite confident that we can figure that out, Jeff. And so, and for anybody else that's questioning if there's any other configurations out there, I'd be willing to bet we can figure it out. So that being said, we're going to go into something for the hotline base plate. There's a question that's been asked. I actually know why it's being asked, and we're going to go through that. So if you're not here for the hotline base plate, or you don't have time to watch that, you're more than welcome to leave at this time. But those of you that wanted to see this piece on the hotline base plate, we're going to go ahead and cover some of those questions at this time. And so for those that have joined us, thank you so much for joining us for the new LineWise spacer cart, line cart product that we have. And we hope to hear your comments and opportunities to share this product with you and your companies. So take care, and we look forward to seeing you soon. For those of you that are staying for the hotline base plate, we're going to go ahead and hit the play button here on this. And as a point of interest, the guy in the bucket is this man right here. To my right is Dave McInbush. I was about to say, between the two of us, he's definitely the only one getting it.
I'm the only one that has a utility.
Yes. So Dave, why don't you talk through what's going on here, buddy?
So, got a utility handling jib, we've got the hotline base plate, they're on the pole, I've got it hooked to the strap into the base plate, taking the slack up and ratchet to tighten it up, so it locks the strap up. Actually, I need to come back a little bigger, longer straps.
Yep.
But this strap will go around quite a few different sizes of configuration of poles. So you get it strapped on the one, then you reach on, grab the other one. It's got a big hook that goes in, as you can see, locks on the bolt, and then you could take the strap up, slack out of the strap, and then it ratchets up and locks in. I'll be jumping in here. We'll have the utility jib, handling jib, bringing up the insulator. There's two ways you can do this. You can either do it like you see me doing here, or some configurations. Some of the customers have kept it all together so that it goes up in basically one piece instead of the two pieces. But if you take it up in 2 or 3 pieces, if you need to, if you're in the hooks, it'd be easier on somebody on the ground to be able to bring it up to you on the hand line than it would be all in one piece. But put it up, put your polymer insulator on, put your nuts on the bolts, tighten them up. Thusly, and then we have a wire holder that can be attached to it right here in this configuration. It just slides on the clevis, and then you pin it on the bottom hole, safety your pin, you're ready to go to work. Now, the configuration we've seen was 1,600 pounds. We also have the ability to put a diagonal bracing insulator on it, and if you do that, the capacity goes up to 4,000 pounds of capacity.
That's right.
Any other questions about the hotline base plate? We can supply the insulators for the hotline base plate if you need. Most utilities that we deal with, they've got the polymers already in stock. Some utilities, they have to test the insulators as a tool before they can use them for something like this. So we can provide individually tested insulators for the hotline base plate if you so need.
And adding on to what Dave has just said, I agree, everything that he said. The only thing I would say when it comes to the insulator, which is quite obvious, like Dave was saying, if we have to test it, the insulator is not something that we stock as our standard product. So you got the hotline base plate, the upper bracket, the wire holder, but if you need the insulators and the diagonal bracing, that's going to be beyond what we can quote you on our lead time for the hotline base plate product and its options.
Now, if you have the insulators,
There you go.
we can take them and send them off and have them tested to our standard and then make them a hot tool.
That's right.
If you've got them, with of course, everybody's having problems with the supply chain, and these insulators are way far out. So,
Question is, do we have a demo unit ready to ship?
of what?
The hotline base plate?
Yes.
The hotline base plate, at least that's my assumption, Rick. But do we have one ready to ship? Yes, we can ship a demo unit out.
It just won't have an insulator.
Correct.
Wire holder, yes, sir. We have those in stock.
Also, the other thing I was going to point out on that wire holder, Dave, correct me if I'm wrong, it has a rotation feature on it, right?
It'll go all the way around.
So that this way, if you're on an 8 structure and you're wanting to lower that conductor into the wire holder, sometimes they leave that shoe on that wire and it would get kind of caught up into that wire holder. So what it allows you to do is take that hotline base plate insulator and twist it around the pole this way, right? So you got the pole and you're twisting around it and you put the hotline base plate and the insulator facing out this way, but you take the wire holder and turn it to where it'd be in line with the conductor. So that way you can lower the conductor right down into the wire holder on the hotline base plate. That's the reason that rotation feature is there. Any other questions about the hotline base plate? I see Linwood Blacksmith has joined us as well. Linwood, it has been a long time since we have talked.
Yes, sir.
So glad you were able to join us. I'm sorry we can't hear your voice, but we see that you're on the call, and thank you for joining.
I was just talking about you last week with Greg Moan from Viking up at the Cody Hotline School.
Yeah.
So we were trying to figure out where he was.
So good to see you, Linwood. Any other questions or comments? If not, we're about 31 minutes into this. And so unless there's any other questions or comments, we are going to go ahead. Let's see.
Okay, so the 4,000-pound rating. Okay, right now, with it, as we were showing on the video, just the polymer insulators on the hotline base plate, that's 1,600 pounds of capacity. We have the ability to put another bracket up above that and run a diagonal bracing insulator down to that shackle that you've seen in the video. Yeah, when we pull up the brochure of it. Where's that? Up a little further. Up right there. There you go. There you go. And then pull that up. And then what that does is, where's it at? Okay. Sure. Okay. Go on. Scroll down. Okay, so there's your diagonal bracing insulator, and then there's the bracket that it has on it. So you would attach the same strap. It's just got a place for a clevis to work, and then it comes down and attaches to the clevis that you see me attach the wire holder to. So in that configuration on there that you're seeing right there, that's where you get your 4,000 pounds. And like Noah was saying, the wire holder will swivel 360 degrees. The conductor will drop right down into the wire holder. The gate will close behind it, so you don't have to physically close the gate. And then when you're ready for the conductor to come out of there, you turn the gate over about 180 to 200 some degrees, and it'll hang open, and then it will reset itself. It'll let the conductor come out, and it'll reset itself as the conductor clears the wire holder.
Did the testing performed at NETRAC include the diagonal bracing?
I'm sure it did, because we got it as a package.
I would agree. And Rick, I can't see whose name this is coming from. When would you use the 3-inch strap versus the 4-inch strap?
I think we had whatever one we come.
I wanted to say, I think it's the 4-inch strap that we use as a standard. And I don't know that we use the 3-inch anymore. And on the call earlier today, I was wondering, why do we have an option for 3 and 4? And then when I started doing some research on the part numbers in our system after our call, Rick, I noticed that all we had was the 4-inch called out with the hotline base plate. So there's not going to be a 3-inch that you would get. It would be the 4-inch. Any other questions?
Yes. Wood, steel, concrete, fiberglass, whatever you want to use it on, it can be used on that. Yes, sir.
Okay, I'm done. Very good. As always, Rick, we enjoy having you on the call. You've been a great asset to the webinars, and thank you very much for all your input and your questions and your comments.
Yeah.
My only regret is today we could not hear your voice to be able to ask these questions and talk to anyone else that had questions. So thank you all again for joining us. Dave, any closing remarks?
The insulator that we've used on the hotline base plate, they can be, we've used both the Hubble product, and we've also used the K-line polymer out of Canada. So it just depends on who you want to use, what the lead time is, and to have them tested and certified as a hot tool.
Very good.
If your company requires it. Some companies require them to be used, tested to be used as a hot tool.
Okay. Very good. Well, that's all we have for today. Thank you very much for joining us. We look forward to seeing you again in another 3 weeks. You take care.